Sir, you are one of the minds behind KARSAP, Kerala Antimicrobial Resistance Strategic Action Plan. Could you give us more insight about the program?
Thank you, IVSA, for inviting me for this program in connection. I believe it's in connection with the World Antibiotic Awareness Week.
Yes,
about KARSAP, when you say that, you might be aware that we have a national action plan that is called NAP. I think so. Dr. Sharma might have detailed you yesterday on what is the national action plan. Based on that, NAP was launched in 2017, and Kerala was the first state to come up with its own sub-national action plan that is called KARSAP. KARSAP, we were supposed to launch it in March 2018, but since we had two public health emergencies in Kerala, one was the Nipah outbreak in 2018 April, and then we have the Kerala floods in 2018 August. So there was a delay in KARSAP launching. So KARSAP was launched in October 2018 by the Honorable CM of Kerala, Shri Pinarayi Vijayan. After that, we had about 18 odd meetings for developing KARSAP. It was, as you are aware, that AMR is a quintessential One Health issue. So all the sectors, the food, the animal health, the human health, and the environment, all the sectors were involved. And as you know, Kerala itself is a big state. We have so many stakeholders. It was under the leadership of the Health Minister, Dr. Madam Shailaja Teacher, and the then Health Secretary, Mr. Rajiv Sadanandan. They were piloting this program, and we were the first state in India to come up with an action plan. After that, now we have two more states who have come up, but that is Madhya Pradesh and Delhi. So Kerala is the first state to come up with an action plan. 2019, we had also a meeting where we had all the 7 southern states were invited, and we had shared how to develop an action plan in all the sectors. Details about veterinary action plan, maybe I'll be answering the subsequent questions. That's how we came across this thing. We formulated the action plan. The action plan was supported, technical support was given by WHO Country Office India. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Sir, regarding animal health, how difficult it will be for a common farmer in our country to give treatment to the animals with infectious diseases in future?
I don't know how slightly I should reframe the question. How difficult it will be for a vet to treat for infectious diseases. As you understand is that you are very well aware that colistin is now banned in our country. Colistin was used for veterinary use since 1972, since its discovery. It was an exclusive veterinary drug for a long time, but now since the resistance to colistin is so much in human side, most of you might be aware of the problem there's a gene called MCR1 which encodes for colistin resistance, and this has globally spread. You should understand is that colistin is the last line drug for many ICUs. So now the Indian government has banned colistin. So veterinarians are now one antibiotic less. Like this, due to the problem of AMR, many, if you consider antibiotic as an arrow, you lose many arrows in your cure. And in such a way that in future, animal antibiotics, either we should have an exclusive set of animal antibiotics which are exclusively, they are not in human use, or whichever are the higher generation or I don't know if somebody has spoken about the aware classification of antibiotics. If you look at the aware classification of antibiotics, so all the reserve antibiotics, whichever are used in veterinary side, will slowly is going to be lost. It's going to be taken back by the human side, and we won't be left with much of the antibiotics to use for an animal side. So definitely infection control in animal health is going to be challenging unless we come up with new set of antibiotics which can be exclusively used in animal side.
Thank you, sir. How is the fisheries industry affected by the menace of AMR?
I won't say menace of AMR, but definitely it's a menace of AMU. AMR in fisheries is very important because as Dr. Khan and Philip were all speaking about environment. What happens in fisheries is that fish is grown in ponds, and antibiotics are used directly into ponds, and whether fishes and shrimps consume it or not, the antibiotics find directly without any, they get a direct entry into the environment. So that's a problem with fisheries, basically, because the use in fisheries means directly the antibiotic gets into the environment. When if you look at AMU in antibiotic usage in fisheries, one thing you should understand is that India is the largest producer of shrimp in the world. We are the largest exporter of shrimp in the world also, for farm shrimp. Antibiotic use has been is there, but now with better biosecurity in farms and better seed quality, if you have good seeds, if the reason is simple: if you don't fall sick, you don't require antibiotics. Same is the case with fishes. So if you have good fish, good biosecurity, good farms, and good control measures in place, you don't require antibiotics. So AMU in fish is definitely, fish and shrimps is definitely there, but compared to animal health side, I think so fisheries are more safer to consume. There will be less antibiotics used for numbers. But the problem is that whenever you use antibiotics in fisheries, the antibiotic gets direct access to the environment. The environment angle of fisheries needs to be looked into, because it adds on to the antibiotic pollution. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Dr. Robin, what are the different grassroots level approaches by which we can counter AMR in our country?
That's a tough question, really. Grassroots level, if you ask me, see, antibiotics are used in farms. Finally, we should. Many studies say that one farmer education program can work wonders, because it's difficult to change doctors, it's difficult to change vets, but farmers are the easiest people to change. They are more amenable to change. So one formal training for farmers, on all livestock farmers once, so they will use less antibiotics themselves. Then awareness and understanding, especially, yes. Awareness is for farmers, understanding is for professionals like us. That is a very grassroots thing we can do, all vets, and this is a fabulous effort from your side, so that you have an understanding on the AMR issue, so that you will, you future vets, the students as future vets of our country, and you will use antibiotics more responsibly. Responsible use of antibiotics is the key. Veterinary education can help a lot. Universities can really promote responsible use in a big way. From the government side, if you say, see, we have done big commitments in our action plan. So action plans are the cornerstone of government action. So we should, if we can at least achieve 10 to 20% of what is put in the action plan at grassroots level, that would be that itself would bring about huge change on the AMR issue, because this silent pandemic is slowly going to evolve into more complex issues. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir.